Hello, Dinesh bhai. Volume is coming. Am I audible? Perfect. So we'll start at 5:30 sharp. So we are already late, so we'll not take much time. So guys, we are already late, so I'm not waiting for the participants to join. So we are providing the video to all of them. So I'm starting the intraday part. So before I start, I just want to clarify one thing. So I'll not tell you that what is the accuracy of my system and how much is the risk and reward of my system. So everything else I'll be giving on the live example. So I'll not post you the back tested data or anything else. I'll show you the 20 example of every charts, every of the setups in a live market, so that you will better understand. I don't believe in the back tested data, or I don't believe in the back tested risk and reward ratio or anything. So I'll be showing you the 20 trades of each of the strategy in a live market, so you will better understand. So don't ask me what is the accuracy of that system. I'll show you the live, how is this accuracy is working and how is the risk and reward is working. So what is the entry and exit, everything I'll be providing in the live system. This is a theoretical system, a theoretical session. So understand the theories behind the setups and all the examples I'll be giving you in the live market. So I don't believe in the theories. So let me start with the few setups which I am be discussing. Many of you would be knowing that I am a trader on the open drive and previous day range breakout. So that are the strategies you must be knowing, as I have already posted on the Twitter. But the Twitter thing is different, and here the explanation will be perfect. So there are 5 setups which I'll be discussing. One is the open drive, then other is the previous day range breakout, then pivot point breakout, then inside bar breakout, and fake paradise. Fake paradise, this is for the indexes and commodities only, because fake paradise plus one, what is Dimesh Bhai has discussed, that is different, and that works only on the stocks, and that works on stocks as well as commodities and index. But this fake paradise, which will not work on the stocks, because this is a intraday setup. So intraday we will be using this setup only for the indices and the commodities. So, and all the other all these 5 strategies we are using only for specific 35 stocks which we have. Fake paradise we are using for index and commodities, and other 4 strategies we are using for 35 stocks list which I have given. So list is already provided. You can try your own with the other stocks as well, but we are knowing that on these 35 stocks these strategies are working very well. So first strategy, I am going with the open drive. So what is the concept of the open drive? So what is the concept? So open drive means it is opening above the previous day's range, above for the buy side. So it is opening above the previous day's high. So previous day's high means it is out of range open. So first condition is out of range open, and another condition should be after the open there should be exact open is equal to low should be there. So open is equal to low, that is one condition, and other condition, open should be greater than previous day range. So previous day high, it should be opening above the previous day high for the buying side, and open is equal to low for the buy. So these are the rules for the buy, and for sell we will be covering later. So first is open is equal to low, and open should be greater than previous day high. So what is the meaning behind this setup? So what does it mean? So yesterday range was like 1010 was the high, 990 was the low, and 1000 was the close. But today the stock is opening at 1020. So stock is opening out of the range, previous day's range. But out of instead even it is opening out of the range, still there is a open is equal to low is coming, which means even the stock has changed the range, there is a buying demand. So there is a demand of the stock. So some fundamental changes has came, or technical changes has came, something has came overnight in the stock. That's why it has gapped up, and even after the gap up there is a demand in that stock. So that from the first tick of the market, it is showing the buying interest only. So that is the why we have named as open drive. So open drive means from the first point it is going on the direction, on the one direction. So how we will be implementing this strategy? So once we have scanned this, there is a scanner which I'll be providing, which are the scanner, how we'll scan this stock. So once we have scanned this stock which are qualifying this setup, so what we'll do after this, once we get the setup, we must be knowing how to get an entry. See, there should be a system, there should be a proper system. So system, which means the system will give you the buy signal, system will provide you the stop loss, system will give you the exits. So that should be the proper system. So here, if you don't have the buy rule, entry rules, what is your stop loss and what is your target, it doesn't call as a system. So you must be having a system, and this is how we place a system. Okay, what should be our entry, what should be our stop loss, and what should be our target. So that must be defined, because we are an intraday trader and we cannot leave the target, leave the trade open. We must be having to satisfy with 1:2 or 1:1.5 risk reward ratio. And 1:2 is a 1:2 or 1:1.5 is a very much good success ratio, risk reward ratio. So we cannot just leave the trade open. So what should be done? So once we are getting this setup, once we are finding this setup for the open low and open is greater than previous day high, then what we'll do, we'll wait for the first 15 minutes candle to close. So unless first 15 minutes is completed, will not be jumping into a trade. So we'll at least wait for 15 minutes. So once the 15 minutes candle is closed, then only we will be entering into a trade. So we got to know that we are entering into a buy trade. Now where to enter a buy? So once the 15 minutes candle is closed, and at that time, what we'll do, we'll note the high of the 15 minutes candle. So suppose the high of the 15 minutes candle is 1030, and what we'll do, we'll be buying above 1030. So 1030.1 will be our entry. So once it is crossing the 15 minutes high, that even on the same breakout we'll be trading. This is not a pullback trade, what Sanket Bhai has discussed. This is a breakout, so we'll be entering. So this is a trend setup. So after you get this setup, it should be a trending day. So we'll be jumping on the first 15 minutes closing only. So once the 15 minutes candle is completed and the high of the 15 minutes candle is crossed, at that time we'll be buying. So what we'll do, we'll place a buy stop loss order just above the 15 minutes candle high. What should be the stop loss? So nearest stop loss, nearest pivot point will be figure out, or the 5 minutes candles low, that will figure out, and according to that we'll be placing the stop loss. Target should be the according to the pivot points. Otherwise, what you can do is 1:1.5 is the 1.5 to 1:2 is achievable in this target. So you can trail up to that. So once the 1:1.5 is done, you have to trail your stop loss. Otherwise, book the targets. So here also it is mentioned that it is working very fine in the Nifty 50 liquid stocks. So that we have discussed for the buy side. This we are discussing for the sell side. So similarly, as the sell side, open should be less than previous day's low. So out of range open. So open should be less than previous day low, and open and high should be there. What does mean? It is opening out of the previous day's range, but still there is a selling pressure from the first tick itself, which means there is some fundamental or technical changes has came in the stock, and that's why it is reacting like this. So similarly as the buy, here we will be selling. So what we'll do, we'll wait for the first 15 minutes candle to get closed. Once the 15 minutes candle is closed, then what we'll do, we'll figure out what is the low of that candle, and we'll be selling just below the low of that candle. First 15 minutes low candle, first 15 minutes low. So once the low is broken, we'll be entering into a trade. What should be a stop loss? So 0.25% above the nearest resistance. So how to find the resistance, and that I'll be coming and explaining through the charts, and targets according to the pivot points. Otherwise, according to the risk reward of 1:1 or 1:1.5 to 2. So that is achievable in this setup. After 1:1.5, you should trail the stop loss. So this setup is working only in the liquid stocks of the Nifty 50. So we have identified that 35 stocks. If we are getting into that 35 stocks, it is working very well, and that we are knowing. You can try with the other stocks as well, but as per our experience, these are working. 35 stocks are good enough. See, this setup will not give you the number of trades. It will give you the 5 to 6 trades in a month. In a month, I am telling. But it will throw you the quality setups. It will not give you the normal day, daily trades. You will not get. You will get the trades 5 to 7 trades per month, but that will be out of 5 to 7 trades. Your 7 trades out of 7, there would be a 5 trades which is hitting your 1:2 or 1:1.5 risk reward. So that is amazing. So that's why we have created two conditions. See, open high alone is not enough. So that's why we have added one another condition. Open should be greater than PDL or greater than PDH or less than PDL. So that is why it is giving us the very less stocks. It will not scan full stocks. It will give you the quantity will be less, but quality will be pure. So how to trade this? So this is the 8th May. You can check on the. I have posted this on Twitter as well. So I have traded this as well. So Reliance. So Reliance has opened below open is equal to high, which was 1340, and previous day low was 1340.3. So which means it has opened up below the previous day's range. First condition and second condition both are met. So what we'll do, we will not trade in this first candle. We'll not touch anything in the first candle once the 15 minutes low candle is closed. So what we'll do, we'll find out what is the low of that candle. So here 1326.15 was the low. So what we'll do, sell below 1326. We'll neglect that 15 paisa here. We'll better to place sell below 1326. And here our target, our stop loss should be 1340, because there is no nearest pivot here in between. See, these are the black line is the pivot. This is support 1, this is support 2, and below there must be a support 3. So here there is no pivots. Pivots are coming, but open and high is equal to 1340. So that must be our stop loss. So if it is breaking the open is equal to high, then the setup itself is getting invalid. So that must be a stop loss. And our risk reward, if you see that 1340 to 1326, it is 14 rupees, which means it is within a 1% range. So 1% risk per intraday is valid. Don't take more than that. If you are getting a 2% or 3% stop loss in this setup, then avoid the setup, avoid the trade. No need to enter into a trade if you are not getting a proper risk and reward. So here our stop loss was within our risk appetite. So we can sell below this. So once 1326 is broken, so here in this candle, the entry is triggered on an immediate second candle. So once the 930 will be closing this, once the 930 candle is closing, at that time we'll place the immediate sell order below the low of that candle. So we'll not be bothered about boss, let it close and let it see. Once the 930 is done, we'll be directly punch a order into system with the stop loss. So entry is triggered in this second candle. Then about 5 candles, 6 candles, it has consolidated in a range. Then from here, in this candle, it has achieved a 1 raised to 2 target, 1 raised to 1.5 risk reward. So once this 1 raised to 1.5 is achieved, either book a profit. Otherwise, what you can do, you can trail your stop loss just above this high, recent high, this green candle's high. You can place a stop loss. So it is above the nearest support, which will act as a resistance now. So I call every 7 points as a pivot only. Pivot points I call it as. I don't differ between pivot and S1 and S2. I don't call, but here you can revise your stop loss. If you are not booking here, you can revise your stop loss to this level and hold it. It would have given made a 1292 low in this day if you are holding till the end. But I would suggest, what I'll do, I'll book a profit here at this point. I'll not wait for the end of this day. If it is going down, if it is breaking, then that is okay. If it is giving me the pullback, so then I would prefer to book a profit at 1 raised to 1.5. So 1 raised to 1.5 is very good for me for any intraday trades. I book out the profit between 1 raised to 1.5 to 2. So on the very next day, see that this is the same candle which we were seeing here. This is the Reliance. On the very next day also there was a open drive, and these also I have posted on the Twitter. So this is a very trending setup. This is a once rarely we get this kind of setup, and we must trade these setups. So when the gap was there, so here open was below the previous day's low, so which was 1292.5. So yesterday's low was 1292.5. Today it is opening at 1288.8, and open is equal to high. So both our conditions has met. So once first and second condition are met, what we'll do, we'll wait for the 15 minutes candle to get closed. So once the 15 minutes candle is completed, so we found out that candle's low is 1266.2. So here if you see that there is a difference of 22 points between high and low. So we cannot take a 22 points risk for an intraday. For an intraday, more than 1% is not valid. So once this entry and exit entry and high, there is a difference of 22 rupees, which was not supported for the risk. So what we'll do, we'll find out what is the nearest pivot point. So here it was 1280.33. So 81, 82, 82 can be your stop loss, 82 to 83. So 0.25% above the nearest pivot. So that comes around 1282. So now your risk is under control of 1%. So you have to manage your risk. So here in the second candle itself, the entry has triggered. After the entry triggered, it has bounced. It has bounced, but it has not gone above the pivot. It has given the retracement, and then again it has fallen, and here it has made a given a 1251. So 1 raised to 1 risk reward was met throughout the day. It has given 1 raised to 1 only. It has not given more than that. But it has not even taken the stop loss as well. So in this setup, you will get a trending day. So from where it is following, you will get the trending day. That is what I meant to say by this setup open drive. So here there is a Axis Bank. So that was an open drive as well. And this also I have posted on the Twitter. So which was 20th of May. And here the open and low was 760.2, and which was open was greater than previous day's high, which was 752. So what we'll do, once we get the get our setup prerequisites rules fulfilled, we'll wait for the 15 minutes. Once the 15 minutes high is we figured out 762.2 is our 15 minutes candle high. So we'll only enter above the 776.2. So after, you can see that after that, for 1 2 3 4 5 4 5 6 7 8 and 9. So in the ninth candle at 11:30, it has triggered the buy. Still it is valid. It doesn't mean it is not valid. It is only invalid if this condition says violated. So open is equal to low if it is breaking in between these candles, in between this and this. If it is violating that open is equal to low, then the setup is invalid. But if it is not breaking the open is equal to low and just consolidating at the upper range, then it is still valid as setup. So in this candle, we will be buying above 776.2. What should be our stop loss? So here we have to see the pivot points. We cannot take a risk of 16 points in the stock which is valued of 770. So we have to find out what is the nearest support. So this R2 will act as a support because price has already went above that level. So here we will be entering at 776.2 and our stop loss will just below this level, 768 it is. So 1 rupees below, which is sufficient, which is 0.25. You can count it as a 766.5 also, or as well, it's okay. So from there, it has moved a trending day. It was perfect trending day. From there, it has not came back. So the price was just moving up, moving up, moving up. And here, if you can see that R3 was at 793. It was just near to that. 791 point something was the high on that day. And it has given a 1:1.5 risk reward. So that is well and good for intraday traders. We don't want a 1:5 or 1:6 risk reward in the 1:10 risk reward for the intraday. We want 1:1.5. That is sufficient. Even at the 50% hit ratio, you will be profitable trader. And this strategy is not a 50% hit ratio. It is a very good strategy which will give you the 70, 75%, 80% hit ratio. That I will show you in the live. I will not speak by the words. So here, this is a Yes Bank. This was the result. This was the day when it has broken the 52-week low by the gap down. So here, there was a open is equal to low, open is equal to high, sorry. So which was 130.8. This was a Thursday, I guess. I missed this trade. I couldn't able to take this trade because it was a Thursday and it was an expiry. So I could not take this trade. Otherwise, I must have taken this trade. So open is equal to high was 130.8 and open was below the previous day low. So which was previous day low was 133.7. So which means clear gap down of 3%. And after clear gap down of 3%, it is opening below the 52-week low as well. And from there, selling pressure is continuous from the first tick itself. So which means it is showing the weakness. So what we'll do after we are finding out our setup is ready, we'll wait for the 15 minutes candle slow, which is 126. So once 15 minutes candle is completed, we'll be selling below this point, 126. And once this, here there was a entry was triggered and we have to figure it out where is the nearest pivot point. So here was the nearest pivot point, which was 128. So you can place your stop loss just 1 point or 0.25% above that trigger, about that pivot point. So I am using a standard pivot point. I am not using a Fibonacci or anything else. I am using only standard. I want there must be some gaps between two pivots. If I am using a Fibonacci, that it will be very close. So I don't like that very close pivot points. I need some space between two pivot points. Otherwise, it will confuse me. Ki, boss, should I enter or not? So that's why I am using a standard. So once this entry was given, so from there it has gone down, and after about the consolidation of 5 candles, 6 candles, here our 1:2 plus has been achieved. So if you are trailing in this stop loss, what should be your stop loss? Your stop loss must be this candle's high, which should have been taken here if you are trade. That's why I keep booking at the particular risk and reward. So either at 1:1.5 or 1:2, I'll be booking the profit. So guys, this is how we have completed the open drive strategy. If you have any questions, we are giving you the 5 minutes. You can shoot your questions in the Telegram group. So guys, we have good enough questions for now. So I am starting by one. So first question by Rishabh is, can this be backed by VWAP? So I have no idea about VWAP. I don't use anything about from apart from pivot points. So on my charts, everything will be only pivot points, volume and candlestick. So nothing else will be seen on the my charts. So I cannot answer this question for the VWAP. I have not used that. If 15 minutes candle is used, then we skip the trade. So yes, if we are not getting a proper risk reward, so suppose even the 15 minutes candle is huge, that doesn't make sense to skip the trade. So we need to find out if we are getting a nearest support or resistance in that trade or not. So like I have discussed in the Reliance. So, I've discussed in this Reliance, there was a huge candle which was of 22 points. But here I was getting my risk reward. So here the pivot I was finding. If we are not finding the pivot point in between in such huge bodied candle, so we'll avoid the trade. How are you determining the stop loss after the trade is executed based on the what resistance? So that I have discussed that we are using the standard pivot points. So in between, see, suppose there is a in between there is a pivot point, so I'll use that pivot point for the reference and I'll use 0.25% above that pivot point of my stop. And if there is no pivot point in this candle, there was no pivot point in between, so I'll check whether my risk and reward is favoring by total candles bodies range, total candles range. So here there was a 14 points range, so which was favoring my risk. So that's why I have taken the trade. I hope that answers my question. So how to get that S1, S2 support levels that were on your screen? So you can use the pivot points that is by default in any software which you are using for the chart. So pivot points, and I'm using standard pivot points, not a Fibonacci. Please tell us the 35 stocks. So the list I have given in the morning. So that was the only 35 stocks which we are trading for any strategies. How to draw pivot point that I have mentioned. Can you please repeat the trailing SL part? So yeah, so once the 1:1.5 is achieved, you must have trail your stop loss, otherwise book your profit. So how to trail your stop loss? So in this trail, if you are trailing your stop loss, don't place immediate stop loss at this candle. So you can use the nearest pivot point for the reference as your trailing stop loss. If it is huge fall, so suppose this candle is huge and it is coming here, so I'll not place a stop loss here because it is extreme level of fall. So in that case I'll be aggressively trailing because my actual target, which was 1.5 risk reward, that has already met, so I'll be trailing aggressively according to the candle's high low. Please disable the chart and there is okay. Can we trade it in being, yeah, you can trade in Nifty and Bank Nifty as well, but rarely you'll get this setup in the Nifty and Bank Nifty when you'll run the scanner of the setup. So we'll be trading only after 15 minutes. So at least till 15 minutes, there should be both the conditions should be met. So only after the 15 minutes, we'll be running the scan. So you can start your scan by 9:29.30 seconds. So like that, you can run your scanner. Can we safely take the entry at the close of the second 15 minutes candle? No. In this setup, we have to enter just below the 15 minutes candle or above the high of the 15 minutes candle. Any scanner for this open drive will be provided. Is it work well for crude? No. Crude we have not tried. Is this valid for future price or only cash price? So here we have to cash in the we have to scan in the cash price, but we have, if you are trading with the future, you have to trade check the chart of the future. It doesn't necessary. So once we have scanned in the cash, boss, here the open is equal to high is 1340. Once that is confirmed, that we don't look for the open is equal to high in the future, but that should be plus or minus 1.1% or 0.1.5%. difference can be okay. So use zero the pivot you will get. Okay. How to scan this setup during the live market scanner I'll be providing. Open high and open low should be looked for the first 15 minutes candle only. No, open high and open low, which means key from the first point. So that should be open high and open low, which will scan by the daily candles. So what is the open high of the first candle, and if it is same during the throughout the day, then only it is valid. When do we scan? 9:30. Can you please go through the Yes Bank stop loss again, please? We should avoid if the stop loss is more than 1% away from the entry, right? So let me come to that point. So here the entry was 126 and here the stop loss was 129 round. So that you can call it as a 3% stop loss. But if you remember, there is a lot size of 1750 only. Till date also there is a lot size of 2200 only. They have not increased the lot size to 400 plus 4000 plus. So that's why I could have afforded that much of risk of 5000 rupees. I could have afforded because the lot size was not increased up to the price. So that's why, otherwise if there is a case of 4500 lot size, that trade should be avoided. How do the pivot point calculated? Your pivot point calculation is very simple, and that is available in the books as well. There is a pivot point you can calculate by the high, low, and close of the yesterday's. You can add on these three figures: high, low, and close, and over that you can divide by 3. So that is the pivot point. That is how the pivot points get calculated. We doesn't need to worry about how it is calculated because the softwares are giving us the pivot points directly. How much capital required for the intraday trading? I must say, if you are trading for the futures, that should be at least 2 lakhs of capital, because per trade you can take at max 2% of risk at max, which comes around 4 lakh, 4,000 if you have 2 lakh. How can we draw that pivot point? I have already discussed. Can we use this setup for commodity? Commodity, we have not tried this setup. Sometimes in 15 minutes candle not shown exact high or low as shown in the NSE. Yeah, that is a good question. So in a kite, we are not getting the exact high and low. So better to use from the market depth. So you can check for the market depth and what is the low of the market depth or high of the market depth, that should be counted, which is the day base time from intraday. So I am using a 15 minutes. You can use anybody, anything. For me, it is suitable 15 minutes, and for this open drive, particularly 15 minutes is the perfect time frame. So there are two conditions: open is equal to high and open into conditions. I have not got this question. You can ping me personally, and I'll answer you the question. Answer your query. What if the stock gap up above the PDH, but retrace up to PDH, but not touch PDH? What if the stock gap up PDH? No, see, suppose the gap above PDH, if it is retracing back, then there must be a open is equal to low. So that setup is not valid for that condition. There must be open is equal to low as well. Yeah, we'll give you the all the scanners in a one document. No worries. Sir, any scanner can Heikenasi candles can be used. We have not tried Heikenasi. We have been using a candlesticks, and we are very much comfortable with the candlestick itself. How much risk one should take per trade? I would say I am taking a 0.5%, but 1% is okay. 1% per trade you can take a risk. 1% of your total capital. So suppose your total capital is 10 lakh, so you can take a 10,000 rupees risk. If there is a difference in open low like 20%, no, we don't consider that as an open trade. Can this strategy use? Yeah, it can be used, but you will not get much setups. Can you please share the scanner? Yes. Without scanner, it will be very difficult. Okay. How many do you trade in this setup? So we have given a 34 scripts, 35 scripts that already discussed. No, it is an intraday setup, Rusank. So we don't carry the setups. So even if it is not hitting the targets or SL, we are not taking the positions home. So this is purely intraday setup. So whatever if you are not achieving the target or not taking the stop loss, will be book out at the end of the day. How much Nifty movement affect this setup? Nifty, I didn't get your question, Rohit. So you can ping me personally. I'll answer your question. I will understand your question first, and then I'll try to answer your query. Is there any scanner? Everybody is asking for scanner. Please show the condition sheet while answering. Okay. So this is a condition. There should be two conditions. This is the open is equal to low. This is the for no. Sorry. So there is a two conditions for this setup. So for buy there is a different condition, and for sell there is a different condition. So for buy, open and low should be same, and second condition is open should be greater than previous day high. So that is the conditions for the buy side, and for the sell side the condition is totally opposite. So open is equal to high should be there, and open should be less than previous day low. So it should open out of the previous day's range. Please show the condition. What's the minimum capital you suggest for the beginners? So for a beginners, I would suggest that you try to trade with the cash segment. Don't jump into the future segment directly. So you can try with the small quantity, not trade with that like 5-10 quantities. That doesn't check your emotions. So in a intraday trading, psychology impacts more. So trade with the sufficient quantity that should at least impact you on a loss, but that should not impact you much if you are getting a loss. So that is how you have to decide as a beginner what should be your quantity. So capital, I suggest that if you are trading for the intraday, minimum 2 lakh rupees capital should be there, minimum. If it is up to 3 to 4 lakh, that would be perfect. Scanner should be run at 9:30. Scanner has sent already. Fibonacci I don't use, so I cannot explain. So I'll explain everything that I am using. I'll not be able to explain anything that I'm not using or day-to-day practice. 7 to 8 stocks are hardly coming. Matlab, I have not seen any time that ki Open Drive is throwing me 7 to 8 stocks out of my 35 stocks. So Open Drive will not give that much of stocks. Open Drive hardly gives us 7 to 8 trades per month. If any time I am getting, so I'll maximum my capacity per trade is at a time 3 trades. So I'll not take more than 3 trades at a time. I've already said in the morning the list of stocks. Options buying. I would say you can try, but don't do a trades in the proper in the market directly for with the option buying, because option buying price impacts option price has the double impacts. So that has the impacts of delta as well as theta, as well as gamma, as well as vega. So there are many impacts coming on the option pricing. So instead of going with the future options, you can go with the cash segment or the future. Do you trade on multiple strategies on multiple scripts in intraday? If I'm getting a convinced setup, so yes, I'll be trading. But at a time, I'll not trade more than 3 scripts. SL is above in Reliance setup. SL is above this one. This is S1. So above the S1, Rohit. Any kind of sync with the index? No, it should. It is not required. Yep, I'm not using, so cannot answer. No, I don't advise, like I'm on an expiry day, I would be busy, so I cannot track the whole market. I'll be only focused on the index. So I'll not be I miss the trade on the of the Yes Bank on that day. That's what I meant to say. I cannot give you the 10, 20 stocks because all 35 is valid. All 35 is good as, so I cannot compare anybody in that. Does any of the 5 6 stock with the open drive setup has to be checked with the volume before close choosing the stock? Rusak, I didn't understand your question, so you can ping me personally. I'll answer you the query. So with this, I think I have solved all the queries, and I'm ready to move on to the next uh, strategy. So our next strategy is very much similar to the open drive, but there is a one condition which is different. So I call it as a previous day's range breakout because it has, so there are two conditions in this. So first condition is open is equal to low. The conditions these are for the buy side. So if you are planning for the buy, what should be the conditions? So open is equal to low is there, and first 15 minutes candle close. I am talking about close, not the high. High of the candle I am not talking about. I am talking about 15 minutes candles close. So once the 15 minutes candle, first 15 minute, first 15-minute candle, it is closing above the previous day's range high. So yesterday's high, it is crossing in the first 15 minutes and it is closing above the previous day's range. So that means ki stock has gone out of the range in the opening candle itself. So which is also a sign of strength in the stock. But here, so what is the difference between open drive and previous day's range breakout? There is only one condition difference. But open drive is purely matlab, it will give you the very less trades. So it will give you 7 to 8 stocks per month. This will give you the daily 1 to 2 trades minimum. So in this setup, you will get a 1 to 2 trades, but the accuracy of open drive is much higher than the previous day's range breakout. Because there we are getting 7 to 8 trades, but here we are getting like 2 trades per day, means 44 trades per month. So the accuracy changes. If we are getting more trades, then accuracy changes. So the implementation is same as the open drive. So we'll wait for the first 15 minutes candle to close, and we'll be buying above the first 15 minutes candles high. What is the stop loss? So 0.5% just below the nearest support. How we are figuring out the support? Through the pivot points. So target should be according to the pivot points. Otherwise, as I said in the previous setup, so 1:1.5 to 1:2 should be your target. In any of the setup for the intraday, 1:1.5 to 1:2, that is excellent risk and reward ratio you are maintaining. Except Peak Paradise, you can maintain this risk reward. So 1:1.5 to 2, that is excellent risk reward. So here as well, we are trading only 35 stocks in this particular in this setup as well. So that don't ask me that questions. What are the list of those 35 stocks? That is already provided. So in all the scanners, we will be using that watch list only. Similarly, for the previous day's range breakout, here for the sell, the only condition which is different is 15 minutes candle close should be less than previous day's low. So first 15 minutes candle close should be less than previous day's low, just opposite to the buy side. And open should be is equal to high. Open and high should be same. So how should we implement? So here we are implementing after the 15 minutes. So after the 15 minutes candle is completed, we will be selling just below the 15 minutes candle low. So all the scanning we will be using only in the cash segment. After cash segment scanned, so then only we will be seeing a future according to the segment you are trading. You can trade in that segment. Once the cash segment filter out your stock, then targets and stop loss, as we have discussed, 0.25 just above the resistance, and target according to the pivot points. Otherwise 1:1.5 to 1:2 is the fixed risk reward for any of our setups. So that is excellent risk and reward. So here you can see that this is Aurobindo Pharma. This trade also I have taken the trade and I have posted on the Twitter as well. So here what you can see that here open is equal to high, which was 637 and 637. So this was not the out of the range opening. So that is the only difference. It is opened in the previous day's range, but the first 15 minutes closing is below the previous day's low. So previous day's low was 628.25 and first 15 minutes candle closes 625.2, so which is less than previous day's low. So what we'll do, we'll be entering just below the low of that candle. So low of that candle was 623.5. So entry triggered here. So entry triggered here in this setup. So here the entry was triggered. So what should be your stop loss? This is the nearest resistance. You can call it. It was support, but now it has broken, so it will act as a resistance. So what it was 628.65. So about 0.25%. If you are counting, it is coming at 630. So which is 7 point and which is within a 1% of range. So that risk you can take it. So once the entry has triggered in a same candle, it has given a 1:2 risk and reward, and R3 was also achieved. Sorry, S3. So this is the last pivot point of the day. So that is also achieved. So this is how we have to trade. There will be a false. I'm not telling that this is 100% risk reward straight, 100% accuracy. This is not a holy grail. Here there will be stop losses, but the risk and reward is amazing in these setups which I am discussing, and also the accuracy of these setups is more than 60%. So that will give you the amazing risk and amazing profit if you are maintaining your discipline and psychology. So many traders, what they do in an intraday, as soon as they enter, and if the profit, if they see a 2,000 rupees profit, they will move their stop loss to their cost, and immediately it will take that trail stop loss, and then it will move in their favor. So that should not be done. Trail stop loss also should be done in a manner. So you cannot directly trail your stop loss once you are in profit. So you have to maintain your risk reward. So suppose I am keeping in my mind, once I'll get 1:1, then only I'll be trailing my stop loss. So that is how the trail stop loss should be done. Or otherwise the move from pivot to pivot is coming, then I'll trail the stop loss. So don't trail the stop loss unnecessarily. Because many of the times what retailers are missing is, retailers are going into a good trade, entering into a good trade, but getting out with the pennies, and they are not getting what they should have get because of this trailing stop loss. They immediately trail their stop loss to their price or very near to the CMP. So initial stop loss, they must be capped as 6 to 7 rupees, but immediately when the stock moves 2 rupees in their favor, they'll go down to their price. So now stock doesn't have the space to breathe. So initially there was a 7 rupees gap was there for stock to breathe, but now there is only 2 rupees. So it can take any time your stop loss, and then it will move in your favor. So here there is a IndusInd Bank also. So IndusInd Bank, it has open is equal to high. So 1634.7 was the high and open, and previous days 15 minutes candle close was less than previous day's low. So here there is no both the conditions are met. So what we'll do, we'll sell below this candle's low. So trigger happened here. So 1590 was our trigger, and stop loss was just coming above this point 160506. So you can count this candle's high as a stop loss. So 1608 was coming as our stop loss, which was 18%, which was near to 1%. So that risk we can take it. From there, it has given 1:2 within 2-3 candles. So after this candle, if you are, see, I'll not regret after this candle. If I am booking the profit at here, I'll not regret after the trade, because I have booked and it has went up to 10% down after my end. So if you are system trader, then it will happen at the daily at 3:30. You will be regretting only, but you should not regret any decisions if you are a system trader. So you have the system and you are following your system. Don't worry about anything else. Just follow your system blindly, what it is telling. And you don't need to trade all these setups. You have to find out what are the two setups which are favoring me and my personality. So if you are an office goer, then you can find out that ki open drive is good, because in a first 15 minutes only I'll be finding the trade, and I can enter into a trade, and I'll find my stop loss, and I have my targets as well. So you will not have many things to watch. So that is how office goers can plan their trades. So you have to find out which strategy is suitable for my personality. So suppose out of this 5 strategy, 2 strategies can be scanned, but 3 strategies cannot be scanned, because it is depends on the 15 minutes candle. So it depends on the 15 minutes candle, and it is not, and also it is depend on the pivot points. So pivot points changes daily, and I cannot scan it. So that, for that I have to be on screen, and that strategy cannot be used by the office goers. So office goers will avoid that strategy, and they will focus on the 2 strategies which can be scanned. So this is Reliance. So this was the first 15 minutes open is equal to low was 1330.3, and high was 1336.75, which was above the previous 15 minutes candle close was greater than previous day's high. Previous day's high was 1336.75. So once this is closed, so this close was high above this high. So once this is closed, what we'll do, we'll buy above this. So what is the entry? Above the 1339. So once this entry is triggered, what should be your stop loss? It is only 9 points of difference between open and high of this candle. So the range is 9 point. So I'll keep my stop loss here. So here, so suppose if you are entering here and keeping a stop loss here somewhere, counting that this is a support, but this is very small. See, suppose this is only 4 rupees or 5 rupees gap is coming. So stock will not get that breathing space. In this case, it has not taken the stop loss, but it doesn't mean that it will not take. So here in this case, there was a only 9 rupees range, so which was even less than a 1% for me. So why not to keep a stop loss just below the open is equal to low? Instead of keeping it here, why not to place it here? So it will give the stock breathing space to take its time and go into our favor. So here 1.115 was achieved. It has achieved 1.2 as well. So you can take a profit here. You can take a profit. Otherwise, trail your stop loss. See here, if you trail your stop loss from after this candle, so never it will never hit. Either trail your stop loss, otherwise book out the profits. So that is why I meant to say. So guys, if you have we have completed the previous day's range breakout. So don't bother about the examples. The understand the concept of the setups. So examples I'll be providing in the live market, and that will give you the thorough explanation. So if you have any questions, you can shoot in the Telegram group. So guys, we have some questions here. So Harshal, cut Harshal. So in a Hindi, so most people are from the south, and I cannot explain. They doesn't know anything in Hindi, so I must be using the English language. So if any personal questions you have, you can ask me in the person, so I'll answer the queries. So open high and open low should be taken in cash price or FNO price. So cash price that I have explained already, so should be scanned in the cash. Any specific reason for the 15 minutes time frame? So I don't like 3 minutes, 5 minutes and 10 minutes because it is too short for me to find the trend, and 30 minutes, 1 hour is a very large for the very big candle for waiting period is too large in the 30 minutes or 1 hour candle. So that is how 15 minutes it is suitable for every of this setup. So that is why I'm using the 15 minutes, and it is very comfortable setup. Should the previous day high cross in the 15 minutes candle? Yes, if it should cross and close above the 15 minutes high, previous day high. When you mean risk of 1% of SL, so 1% of the stock price is the risk. 1% is not a risk on the capital. You can decide a risk on risk what you are taking on the capital, but that 1% on the stock price I am talking about. Can't we set the SL of 1% in all trades? No. According to the pure points, you have to decide your stops. There can be a 1.1% or 1.2% stops required. Any BTST setups? So this is not a BTST setups. This is purely intraday, and there is no prerequisites. You don't need to bother about what has been done yesterday. You are coming fresh in the market and you are just scanning the setups. If I am getting my scanned setup, so I'll trade. If the first 15 minutes is very big, more than 1%, in that case we look for the closest support resistance, and if that pivot is too close, say 0.2%, then SL becomes too small. How do you approach? In that case, I'll be watching the 5 minutes candle and what is the low of the second 5-minute candle. So first 5-minute candle I'll not count. So what is the low of the first second 5-minute candle, that I'll count and I'll place the stop loss there. So 15 minutes time from is the intraday heartbeat. For me, it is right. For me, it is heartbeat. When are the recordings provided? After the completion only. The first candle move is so aggressive each day. Why should we take the entry? Because it is a breakout trade. So I really don't trade for the pullbacks in this kind of setup, because I know that this can be a trend day. So it will not, most of the time, 60% of the time, it will not give you the entries on the pullbacks. Any stop hit chart? There are many. I'll be showing that even that will be coming in the live market as well. Even I have the past graph as well. So I'll be showing it in the Telegram group. Thank you, Chris. Difference between open drive and the range breakout. So in the open drive, there are two rules for the previous day range breakout. So first rule is same for both the setups. Second rule is different. So here 15 minutes candle close should be less than PDN. So you can see that this was not opened below the previous day's low, but it has closed below the previous day's low. So, but in the open drive setup, it is opening just from the open itself. It is opening below the previous day's low, and open should be high. So that is the only difference between open drive and the previous day's range breakout. So in a previous day's range breakout, you will get many trades, average 2 trades per day, but in a open drive, you will get 7 to 8 trades per month. What is the ratio of the false breakout? So here also there will be a false breakouts as well. So it will be like 35 to 40% will be false breakouts. The difference between that I have answered. Open drive, open of the candle is below or above the previous day, low or high. Yes, correct. Correct understanding. Perfect. So do we have manually check those stocks after 15 minutes candle close? No, you have to just out of 35 you will get around 2 to 3 to 4 stocks, and those you have to check, and what is the high and low of that kind of stocks, that you have to check manually, that they will not give you the trigger. These are the scanners which will throw you the stocks, that will not throw you the triggers. So trigger is different and setup is different. So setups will scan you the stocks and trigger, it will not give you the trigger. So trigger you have to manually check. So yeah, Jigar, we can understand that it is hard to digest for newbies. So we'll provide the recordings. Range breakout open is not necessary to be below or above high or low of the previous daily. So Parveen, I have not got this question. Understood this question. You can ask me personally after the seminar. So I'll answer your query. Maximum size of the first candle doesn't necessary. It should be anything, but there should be a minimum nearest pivot or pivot point we should be finding out for our stop loss. So if it is supporting our register, supporting our risk reward, then we'll be taking a trade. Otherwise, we'll not take. So if you see here, there was a 637 to 623. So which was almost a 15 points candle. So which is 2.5% candle. So still we have taken a trade because we were finding the nearest resistance here, 630. So it was giving me the risk reward. That's why we have taken the trade. If I am not getting the any supports and resistance between this open and low, then I'll be not taking the trade. So I've answered all the questions. So I'll be moving to next setup. So which is very interesting setup, very easy setup. The only thing, this setup cannot be scanned because it is dependent on the pivot points, and pivot points daily changes. So this setup cannot be scanned. This we have to be on screen and we have to watch the stocks. So what I recommend to anybody who is trading this setup, identify 5 stocks or 4 stocks, like Axis Bank is there, HDFC is there, Reliance is there. So you can identify 4 stocks for from 4 different industries. So sectors you can identify. So Reliance from the OMC, then Axis Bank from the banking, then banking sector is where I am focusing more. So banking sector you can identify 2 to 3 stocks and you can daily trade on that, because banking sector I feel that there must be a huge volume in that. So banking sector, I prefer to trade more than any other setup, other stocks, other sector. So from steel sector, I prefer Tata Steel and Hindalco. So you can identify some 5 stocks and focus only on those 5 stocks. Forget about the market. Just focus on the 5 stocks. You'll be amazed by the accuracy. So first, let we discuss the setup. So how to trade this setup. So for what we have to observe is only the pivot point and 15 minutes chart we have to observe. So pivot point, which means P, S1, S2, S3, R1, R2, R3. All 7 points I count as a pivot points. So setup requirement is nothing on a chart. You must be knowing that you must be having a pivot points and 15 minutes candlestick chart. So rules for the buy. So whatever the stock you are trading, so that stock in a 15 minutes candle should be closing above the pivot point. Pivot point means R1, P, R2, S1, S2. I don't recommend to trade on the S3 and R3. S3 and the R3 are the point where the reversal happens. Most of the time reversal happens from the S3 and R3. So I don't recommend to go for the breakouts, because out of the 100 stocks, there will be only 5 to 8 stocks which will give you the huge breakout. But out of the 100 stocks, 8 stock will give you the breakout after R3. But rest of the 92 stocks will fail and go back to the R2. So we don't recommend to trade on this setup on the R3 and S3. So last resistance and last support, that will not take for the breakouts. So we'll trade on the PV, R1, R2, S1, S2. So that 5 points we can take on this setup. So once the stock is closing above the pivot point in a 15-minute chart, so what we have to do, once that is closed, we have to check the high of that candle and we will be placing a buy stop loss order above the high of that candle. Simple, very simple. Once the candle is closing above the pivot point, we will be placing a buy order above that candle's high. That much of simple strategy it is. There is nothing, no mind you have to put into. There is nothing else. Just if it is crossing a resistance and closing above the resistance, we will be buying above the candle's high. In this setup, our stop losses will be very less. So this setup is good because risk is very less compared to the other setups. So here we are taking a risk of 0.25 to 0.3% below the support. Otherwise, what is the recent low of last 3 or 4 candles? So that can be a stop loss. And targets according to the pivot points. So suppose you are buying above the pivot, then R1 should be your first target, R2 should be your second target, like that. Similarly for the sell, just opposite to that. So if the underlying stock is closing below the pivot point in the 15 minutes chart, we will place a sell stop loss. Once the 15 minutes candle is closed, we will place a sell stop loss order below that candle's low, with the stop loss just about just 0.25 to 0.3% above the pivot point. What is the support and resistance it has support it has broken? Just above that support 0.25% we will be placing a stop loss. And recent high, otherwise recent high also you can take for the as a stop loss. And targets according to the pivot points. So rules are very simple. So suppose, so see, this is a Reliance chart. So it was trading in between. So see, this black line is the pivot, this brown line is the R1, the lighter brown is R2, this is S1, and below there would be S2. So it was trading between R1 and pivot since the morning. It has gone below the pivot. This candle has not broken the low of this candle. So sell was not triggered. Sell was not triggered, understand the thing. If it would have gone below this low, so suppose here, if it would have gone below this low, then our sell would be triggered, but that doesn't happen. So in the immediate candle, in this candle, it has closed above the pivot point. Once it has closed above the pivot point, what we will do? We'll buy above that candle's high. So close above the pivot and high of this candle is 1351.35. So we'll be buying above few points above that. So 1351.5 ke upar we'll be buying. And stop loss just 0.25% below this level, 0.25 to 3, or the recent low. So recent low was around 1342. So that would be our stop loss. So our risk is only 8 odd points, 9 points. So that is decent. And from there, it has one-sided move to 1367, and then it went up to R2, R3. It has moved. So there will be a false here also. But what I am telling is here the risk and reward will be amazing. 1:2 is achievable in this strategy. But in this strategy, you have to be on screen. This cannot be scanned through any scanner, because it depends on the pivot point and the 15 minutes candles close. We have tried to create the scanner, but we have failed to create the scanner for this. If anybody can help to create the charting scanner, it will be great. If it is if we are getting the scanned results, and it can be amazing. So here this is Axis Bank in the first 15 minutes only. So it has given the close below. It has opened below the above the pivot, but it has closed below the pivot. So below that level, you can, below that candle's low, we can short sell it. So here the high of this low of this candle was 710.85. So we'll be sell below 710.8, and our stop loss will be the high of this candle itself, which was 715. And also it is mentioning coming into our criteria of 0.25% above the pivot. So from there it has given the a decent return. So here also again it has triggered here, but from there it went up into a sideways. It has not given any much return from that level. It has not taken a stop loss as well, but it went into a sideways because the fall almost from 715 to 702, so which was almost 2% fall already there. So it went into sideways after that. So here also there was a Reliance. So in this candle it has closed below the S1. So once this close is done, so after that close is done, so we will be entering just below this low of this candle, so which was 1325.4. In this candle you can place your stop loss 0.25% above the level of 1326. So it was, this line was 1326. If you count your stop loss as 0.25% above the support level, so it will come near to this level, so which is only 5 points of stop loss. From there you got almost 15-20 points drop from there. So out of that 20 points drop, you can at least get 10 to 15 points, 1:2 you can meet in this kind of setup. So you have to trail your stop loss only once 1:1 plus risk reward you are getting. Don't trail in between immediately. This is very simple setup and there is nothing to do, but you have to be on screen and you have to watch every 15 minutes closing. So every 15 minutes, see, suppose here also there was a trigger. It has given a buy trigger in this, and it has also given a decent result. From 21 to 23 it has went up to 30, so it has also given a decent result. Here also it has given an entry, but from there also it has fallen about almost 7 8 points, but it has reversed from there. There was another beautiful signal here, inside bar was there, so from there it has reversed. So this is, I have shown there is a don't tell me that boss you have shown the only target achieved graphs. So I'm just explaining how it should be traded. I'm not explaining ki boss it is holy grail. There will be a false signal as well, because we are trading a pure price action. We cannot avoid the losses. There must be a false signal. But we have to trade the better setups, which can give us the uh, better risk and reward. So if you have any questions in this setup, so you can shoot in the Telegram group. So in this setup, you have to be on screen. So that's why I said identify 4 to 5 stocks, good stocks, and watch that only. So guys, I am starting to answer the questions from one by one. So till that time you can shoot your questions. Till that time the chat window is open. So Priyanka has asked that in the first pivot strategy example of Reliance, there was a red candle and that closed below the S1 and candle after that green closing above the it should have sell trigger. So let me explain. So yes, it has given the sell signal, but trigger was below this low and that has not triggered. So that is why the sell signal was not traded. It has not triggered. It has given the signal, but it has not given the trigger. So trigger and signal is different. It should be gone below the low of that candle. You can check the chart of 13th or 19th of March. That is the chart of 19th of March and check the lows. Can we trade the index through this setup? Yes, of course, index works beautifully. We used to trade on the index only. If possible, please give all the scanners that will be given. Thanks. In the first setup, why we have not sell trigger? Because the low has not broken on that 15 minutes candle. So it must broke the low of this candle. So that was not done. Name the 4 5 stocks. Take out Reliance, Axis Bank, HDFC, and Tata Steel. If you want to note down again telling, it is Reliance, HDFC, Axis Bank, and Tata Steel. Pure points working in crude. Yeah, I have checked and we are trading on that also. In our Fire Marcos channel, we are trading on that and we are giving the trades as well. So Reliance question I have already answered. So if it would see, suppose in this case, if it would have given the sell signal, but that would have failed. That would have failed if this has not triggered. But if in case it has given and it has triggered a buy signal after that, you should be ready to take a reverse trade if that case is happening. Do we trade only in the direction of the trade? Yes, this will give you the trend following only. This will not give you the reversal signals. 20th of July, let me see. Previous range breakout scanner link, please. That will be provided, bro. Don't worry. Can we try? Today we are not trading, so don't worry. Tomorrow we'll be giving you all the scanners. Can we try it for 5 minutes time frame? We have not tried because 5 minutes we are not feeling it comfortable with the trend following, because 5 minutes trend is not a reasonable trend. So we need at least 15 minutes to identify ki boss trend is strong or not, because 5 minutes chart is not reliable. We are finding it very fast. Previous day range breakout scanner link, please, that I have answered. What if the market is non-directional? What time we need to wait if it fits into any of our strategies discussed? Didn't get your question, buddy. So Sachin, you drop me a question and we'll try to answer your query. Yes, 5 minute, 5 minute. We are not finding comfortable. What are the parameters of stock selection for the pivot points? So stock select a stock which has a huge liquidity. So like daily you will get a huge liquidity in Reliance, in Axis Bank, in HDFC Bank. Those are the uh, stocks which will give you the huge liquidity. So you select those stocks. So out of 35 you can select 1 to 2 stocks from any different sectors and create your own shortlisted stocks. Otherwise you can focus on the indexes. Nifty and bank nifty works well. S1 S2 R1 R2 के पास सेटअप बना तो हम ट्रेड ले सकते हैं, राइट? यस, S1 S2 R1 R2 and pivot 5 points you can take a trade. Second trade on the same strategy won't be much rewarding in case first is missed, right? If we are missing at the first, see, suppose it is falling from the pivot point. So pivot point, once the pivot point has closed below the pivot point and it is come up to S1. So S1 still it is okay S1. But after the S1, if you are taking a trade till S3, S2, then it is not rewarding, because already it has gone to two levels. So much better to avoid the second trade. So first, if you are not able to find, then leave the third trade. First and second is good. So pivot and S1, it is good. So once it is falling from a pivot and going till the S1, so till even after the S1, you can take a trade for S2, but don't take a trade after S2 in that cases, because it has already fallen 2 levels. In case if I have doubt which I want to get clarify, I can call you. Yeah, anytime. Yeah, it can be used for any both the indexes. Do we need to check the volumes also? No, volumes not necessary. So there are two stocks people has asked for: 12th July of Reliance and 19th of July. I mean, must be 19th of July. So that's for C. This one. So 12th of July, he was asking me. Yeah. So here it is, 12th of July. And this candle, see, the first candle was too huge. From pivot, it has started and it has closed above the R2. It has not triggered. It has gone below R2. It has closed below R2, but even it has not triggered. Then again, it has closed above this R2. It went up. Then it has went up. Let me see the level. So it has triggered at 1295. It went up to 1299.5, 4 rupees only. So it must be triggering your stop loss. So stop loss would be here. So which is 1291. So that will take a 4 rupees stop loss here. So from here it has triggered. So it was in this period, if you are trading, so it must be taking your stop loss. So that's why I said after R2 don't buy, and if it has traveled two levels, don't go far for if you are going matlab, if it has traveled from pivot to R2, so don't go for the breakouts after R2 matlab, if it is traveling so fast, don't go directly for the R3, because if there is a huge candle and after that it is not it must consolidate for some time if there is a huge candle. So there is no open high, open low as well. There is no previous day range breakout. So here we can trade if we are closing. So this was a very volatile day, I must say, because we can't see this much of move in the Reliance daily. So this is one of the odd day where all the stop losses would have hit. In this buy as well as hit, in this sell as well as hit. Again, and in this sell, this would have given this target, but you will not be taking the third trade. When you are failing two times, you will not take third trade in the same stock. So that cannot, this kind of trades you can avoid, or otherwise we cannot get everything on the profitable side. So then Tata Steel, the 19th. So 19th means this one. So it was beautiful. So from here, it has given the sell signal. So which was 465, and stop loss would be coming at 470. This would be your stop loss. and from it has fallen directly. It has given till S2, so it was easy trade. So we are not using any indicator of RSI or any support, any MACD or anything, so we cannot answer on that. Can we pyramid in this strategy if we gives a buy signal at yeah, if that can be done. So if we are getting an entry at pivot, so from pivot, if it is going up to R1, so at R1 you can pyramid, but don't go for the pyramiding after R2. So from R1 you can pyramid. What's the time limit of this setup for the intraday? Time limit is 320, which is decided by SEBI, and you can trade till 320. Please explain how to get the pivot points. So here it is explained. So how to get the pivot points. So here write the pivot points. Here it is. It is standard pivot points. Whatever it is giving, I am taking it. Whatever strategy we trade in the futures, we should trade on its underlying stock. I didn't get your question, but you can trade in either cash or future using this strategy. Is it the accuracy is better when the pivot is broken in the first candle? No, it is not like that. It can be broken in any time, and anytime we can take a trade. Does it strategy work? Yes. Index work is. How about the trend line coming above the resistance? So we are not bothering about any trend line or anything when we are taking a intraday trades. Commodity is working fine. We don't. I have not traded in my life on the currency, so I don't know how it is working on the currency. If it close above the R1, do we need to buy? Yeah, R1 you can buy, but if it is traveling from S1 to R1, so that is already two levels it has traveled. So don't go for the direct jump. Wait for the retracement. So if it is traveling two levels in a very less period, so avoid those trades. At least take a first entry. So suppose in this case, it has traveled from the pivot point, then it has gone from the below the S1, then it has gone below S2. So if it would have closed here S2, this candle would have closed here. Avoid the trade below S2 because it has already traveled two levels. From pivot to S2, it has traveled. So maximum in a one day, the stock travels three levels. So do we need to close trade before 3 as after that profit starts? Doesn't necessary. You can take a trade till the end. Okay, so I have answered the questions for all of them. So moving to the next slide. So the next strategy. So these are the very simplest strategies which I am explaining, and it is working very beautifully. So it doesn't necessarily we need to have a complex things to get a result, because simple things works better than the complex things. So we need a simple and beautiful setups to understand, and we have the setups, we have the entries, we have the exits, we have the stop losses in mind, and pre-planned stop losses, exits, entry is there for our setups, and risk reward is also well in all our setups. So this is the inside bar breakout setup. So this is similar to the Dimesh by what we have discussed in the morning, but there are some different kind of direction and location that we'll be discussing in this setup. So in Dimesh by what they have discussed is narrow range plus inside bar. Here we are not bothering about narrow range. We are just bothering about inside bar. We are not taking we are not counting it is a NR4 or NR7 or anything. We are just bothering it should be an inside bar. What is the inside bar? You must have understand that in the morning session, if the current candle is forming inside the previous candles. So what does this mean? So if the current candle's high is less than previous candle's high and current candle's low is greater than previous candle's low, that means it is into the previous candles. range. So first current candle should be completely inside the previous candle's range. That is called as the inside bar. So what we need, so first we need an inside bar formation. Then we need an inside bar formation near the pivot points. We don't trade all the inside bar. We trade only it is at the required locations. So in an intraday, we trade on the supports and resistance and only. We don't trade blindly at any place. So we want an inside bar formation only at the pivot points. Pivot points, what I mean is P, S1, S2, R1, R2. That is the only 5 points where we are trading. S2 and S3 is very S3 and R3 is very risky. Even though there is a mention in the S3 and R3 in this setup, but we don't trade on the trend following after R3 and S3. So in this setup, there are two very important points to observe. So in which direction we have to trade, to identify that we have to observe two very important points. So what is that? That is the opening level of particular stock and location of the inside bar. So that I am coming to the, we have created the table. So please, if you are trading on this setup, please take a snapshot of next upcoming slide. So this is the slide which should be on front of your screen. So you must be, this is not a easy to understand. This will take a 2-3 weeks of time to understand. So where to trade long and where to take short, where to take both the side, that is different. That needs to be understand using two different points. So what are the two different points? So opening, where stock is open and where the inside bar is forming. So those are the two. So where it is opening and where the inside bar is forming, that will decide our direction. So let me clear this. It is not. Where it is opening and where the inside bar formation is coming. So that will decide our direction. Combination of both this will decide our direction. Which side will be trading after the inside bar has formed. So once this is identified, that is very much easy to take a trade on this setup. So if the opening is between pivot and R1, and if you are getting a inside bar formation at R1 or R2, inside bar formation at R1 or R2 will go long only, will not go for the short trades even if it is triggering the sell side. So if there is an opening between pivot and R1, so let me explain with the paint. That would be much better. So I'm drawing 5 lines here. So this is pivot. This is R1. Okay. This is R2. S1 and this is S2. R1 S1 S2. So suppose the stock has opened between pivot and R1. So stock has opened in the first 15 minutes here. Here the opening was there. So from here, so here it is forming a inside bar. Here the inside bar has formed. So after that, so which side we will be trading? We will be trading only long. If it is forming inside bar here as well. So here as well we will be going only long. We will not be going short. So that is the meaning of this. So opening of the stock, then where it is forming an inside bar, it must be touching the stock, pivot levels. It should not be like it is near to pivot levels. It must be touching the pivot levels. Either of the two candles should be touching the pivot levels. Then we will be going only long. Then if it is forming at the pivot level, so suppose the opening was here and the inside bar formation is here. So what we'll do, we can go either of the side, whichever side it is triggering, on that side we will be taking a trade. So after the inside bar formation, if it is giving a buy signal by breaking the high of that candle, so we'll be buying it. If it is giving a sell signal, we will be selling it. We'll go with the direction, whichever side it is triggering. So we will be placing both the orders. Once the inside bar formation is happened, so we'll be placing both the orders in this case. If it is forming at the S1, if the opening is between pivot and R1, if it is forming at S1, so suppose it is forming at here now, inside bar. So we'll go only for the short direction. We'll not go for the reversal. So we'll go for the short direction. So that is how you should understand this table. So suppose another row I am explaining. So suppose here, if it is opening between pivot and S1, so opening was somewhere here, then inside bar formation was near S1 or S2. So suppose here the let me change the color. So here the inside bar is happening. So we'll go only for the short side. We'll not look for the reversal. We'll go only if it is triggering the sell side. If it is triggering the buy side, we'll be avoiding the trade. Even at S2, we'll be sorting it only. We'll not look for the buy. If it is forming at the pivot level, so suppose it has opened between P and S1 and it is forming an inside bar at pivot. So what we'll do, we'll go for the both the side. Either if it is triggering buy, we'll go for the buy. If it is triggering sell, we'll go for the sell. If it is triggering, if it is forming at the R1, if it is forming here, we'll only go long. We'll not look for the short here. So then another is R1 and R2. If the opening is between R1 and R2, suppose opening is here. And if it is forming a inside bar at R2 or R3. In this case, you can trade even R3 as well if it is opening above R1. So let me draw. This is R3. So if it is forming inside bar at R3, then also we'll be going long. Only if it is opening between R1 to R2. R1 to R2. Then only we'll be going long above R3. Then if it is forming at the R1. So suppose inside bar is formed here in this case. So we'll go for both the side. Either of the side will be trading. Whichever side it is triggering, that side will be trading the trade. So if it is triggering buy, we'll be taking a buy trade. Otherwise, we will take a sell trade if it is triggering the sell side. And at the pivot, so if it is after opening here, if it is forming inside bar here, then we'll be only going for the short. We'll not look for the long here. We'll go only for the short signal. Similarly, if it is trading opening between S1 and S2, so suppose it has opened here somewhere. Here it has opened between S1 and S2. Here also we can trade at S3. So after S1 and S2, if after opening here, if it is forming an inside bar at S2 at the support 2, we'll only look for the short signal. Even if it is forming at the S3, we'll only look for the short signal. But if it is forming an inside bar at S1, we can look for any of the side. Either of the side we can trade. Whichever side, if it is triggering, at that side we can take a trade. If it is triggering at pivot point, then we'll look for only long signal in this trade. If it is opened at S1 and S2, and if it is forming an inside bar at pivot level, we'll only go for the long only. We'll not look for the sell signal. So this above R2. So suppose it has opened above R2. R2 and R3, which means between R2 and R3. So it has opened above R2 and R3 between, and it has formed inside bar at R3 only. So obviously we will look for the long only. If it is forming at R2 here, we will look for the both the side. R2 will look for the both the side, long as well as short. And if it is forming at R1 from downside, we'll look for only sell signal in this case. And similarly for the S2, if it is opening below S2 and S3, between S2 and S3, I can change the color to, now remaining color is dark green. Dark green has already taken. So it has opened here. Now if it is forming an inside bar at S3, we'll look for the sell only. If it is forming at S2, we'll look for both the side, buy or sell. If it is forming at S1, we'll look only for the buy signal. We'll not look for the sell signal here. So this is how you will be identifying the direction of the trade. How to identify the direction of the trade, because inside bar doesn't mean ki any of the side you can trade. And we will be trading only on this 7 points. Will not be trading between this. So if you are trading in between this, I am not responsible for the strategy. So you have to make sure that your candle is touching any of this level. If it is not touching, then you can ignore the trade. So this you can avoid. So don't take R3 and S3 for this is a reversal. So don't take R3 reversal and S3 reversal. So this is how we find out the direction of the trade, which direction we want to trade after the inside bar has formed. So what we have to see is opening point and the inside bar location. So two of the points we have to observe for this. And once we have identified which direction we want to go, it is making our life much better, because every time we cannot place both the direction trades. So if you are sure of the direction, then only place a trade. Why to take both the side trades? Because we have tried this strategy initially, and what we were doing is we were placing both the side triggers. Then after refining, we have come to the finalization key boss. We have to identify which side we want to trade. We cannot directly place both the side signals. So this is if you are trading this strategy, this table should be on your screen. So at least for 2 to 3 weeks, unless you are understanding this setup. So how to trade the inside bar? So once we get the inside bar at the preferred location, what we'll do, we'll first identify the location, if it is buy or sell, or if it is both. So sometimes it will be both, but most of the time you will get the direction of the trade. So when you are getting a buy trigger, at that time only place a buy stop loss order above the inside bar candle's high. And for sell, vice versa, you have to place a stop loss order for the below the candle's low. So that is how we trade in the inside bar. So whichever side, first we have to identify which side we want to trade. Don't go blindly. So don't put both the side trades directly. So first we have to find, because it has formed inside bar at the preferred location. We are sure of this direction, and then only we'll place the order inside bar. So if it is giving a trigger in our favor, in our direction, then only we will be trading. If it is giving in the opposite direction trigger, we will not be trading like that. So in case of, if there are some points where we can go either long or short, at that time we have to place both the orders. So suppose it has opened at the R1, between pivot and R1, and forming a inside bar at pivot. So we'll be placing both the orders. Once any of the side is triggering, we'll be doubling the quantity, as we are doubling in the NR4 plus IB. So that is how we trade if we are getting non-directional trade. So non-directional means we are not sure of the direction. It will give the direction, but we are not sure which side to trade. So at that time, we will be placing both the orders. And once any side is triggering, we will be doubling the stop loss on the opposite side. So 1:2 is easily achievable. I am taking easily achievable, but you have to be on screen. You have to find out 4 to 5 stocks, and you have to observe only those stocks. Otherwise, this cannot be scanned throughout the inside bar can be scanned, but inside bar at preferred location, that is difficult. So we have tried to find the inside bar scanner, but inside bar we were able to scan, but the preferred location which we were looking for, because it was giving us 20-15 stocks, 20-25 stocks at a time, so which was not possible for us to trade. So we have to watch limited number of stocks, and in that we have to identify the which preferred setup is we are getting the preferred setup or not. So examples I am giving. So here it has opening level is between pivot and S1. So opening level is between pivot and S1. So here you can see that pivot and S1. So this is the case. So here it has opened and it has formed the inside bar at the pivot. So if it is forming the inside bar at the pivot, what will we do? So pivot and S1, if it is forming an inside bar at pivot, what will we do? We'll go with the direction. Whichever side it is triggering, we'll go with that direction. So here, so direction of the trade is long or short as per the breakout. So once the inside bar candle high and low was 32.3 was the high, and inside bar candle low was 1328. So sell got triggered below 1328. Stop loss was above just high of this candle. So here you need not to worry about stop loss because you easily know that what should be your stop loss. So your low is the entry, high should be your stop loss. Simple as it is. So here it has given the 1:2 plus in this candle itself. Then here as well there was an inside bar. This candle, either of the two candles should be touching the this preferred location. So it has formed at the S2. So here as well it has triggered and it has given a decent return. But here there was a S2, S3 was here. So it was not touching the S3, but it has formed the inside bar. 3 IB was there. From here it has returned. So how we are trading? First we have identified the opening level, then location of the inside bar, and then which direction we are identifying, which direction we will be trading, and it is making our life easy. So once the trigger is happening, we will be going into a trade. So here opening level was between pivot and R1. So you can see that opening level was pivot and R1. So Axis Bank, Reliance and HDFC. These three are my best. I love those three stocks. So most of my examples will be in those three stocks only. So opening is between pivot and R1. So here it has formed the inside bar touching the S1. So if it is forming an inside bar here, below the low of this candle, we will be selling. We will be only selling, even if it is triggering on the right side. If it is giving the buy trigger, we will not be taking a trade because our table is telling us don't take a buy trade here. It is only for the short side. So it was between pivot and R1. Formation was at S1. So we'll go for only short. Pivot and R1. Formation as S1. So we'll go for only short. So it has given a decent result. And it is a very good strategy if you are able to be on the screen. It will give you the very small stop losses. One of our group participant, one of our webinar participants in the previous, in the September or October, is just trading on this setup with a very few stocks. Like he was previously trading with the Reliance Infra as well and Capital, but he was making a huge money. So that is how it should be traded. So here the opening was between pivot and R1. The inside bar formed here. So inside bar is formed at pivot point. Black line is the pivot point. So at the pivot point, if it is forming at the pivot point, we can take a direction trade any side. So it has triggered a sell side. First it has triggered a sell side and it has failed. It has triggered a buy side, that as well as failed. So this will be happening sometimes. Sometimes it will, both the side it will fail. But the advantage is we have a very small stop losses here. The stop losses will come like 2,000, 2,500, 3,000 rupees. That is what taking a trade. I'm talking about future trades. So here also then again an inside bar has formed. Then it has given only buy signal. And it went up to good level. R3, R2. Then this is HDFC. So opening was between pivot and R1. Then after this, it has formed the inside bar. Inside bar at, even this was the inside bar only. I missed this. So this was also inside bar. So here also it has given a buy signal only. So from this we are buying and going up. So it has achieved this candle. You can see that it is not even 4 rupees candle in a HDFC like stock. So this is worth taking trade if you are on screen. but the identification of the location, identification of the direction is main important. And for that you have to place this table in front of your screen. If you didn't understand this till that time, ask me any questions if you have doubts. And during the live market I'll be answering the questions, but don't take a blind trades. Don't take both the sides. So if you have any questions regarding this setup, you can shoot in the Telegram channel. We have one only strategy after that, so you can take your time and give me the questions in next 5 minutes. Guys, we have already said that because of the location of this trade, this cannot be scanned. So don't ask me for the scanner. So this cannot be scanned. So you have to be on screen. You have to watch limited number of stocks, and then only you will be able to take these trades. So this cannot be scanned because we want only particular setup, particular levels. So we don't want all the inside bars. So I'm taking up the questions now. So from where it is starting? So what is the timing? 7:39. Okay. So the table is kind of, if the open is above pivot, then roughly IB on 2 lines up is long, and 1 line down is both the short and long. Yes, you have completely understood it well, Rahul. So if it is above 2 lines, above 2 points, so we'll go long. At the downside 1 point, we'll go both the side, and if it is down by 2 points, we'll go only for the short. Will you guys be helping us with our doubts daily or sometime? Yeah, for sure. We will be taking a we will be showing you the live example as well on all the setups for 1 month or till the time you guys get uh, proper pro traders. This IB breakout is not too much complicated. It is very much easy. If you will go through the video 2-3 times, you will understand the setups, how I have explained everything in detail. So that's why I was knowing that this is a setup which needs understanding it thoroughly. So I have given the time. So if you will check the videos and you will see it repeatedly 2-3 times, you will understand it better. So please explain how to check any directional move when IB occurs at point. Only at pivot is not important. So where it has opened, that also needs to be checked, and when where it is occurring, that also needs to be checked. So suppose here in the pivot, it is going telling us long or short, both can be traded. But here, if we can see here the pivot is forming, it is giving you the direction. See, either take a short or long, don't take both the side. So you have to check where it has opened, where it is forming, then only we will be deciding the direction. So once the IB is formed at preferred location and direction is fine. So suppose the IB is formed at R1, open is between pivot and R1, and so we found that key direction is long only. So what we'll do, we'll be only place a buy order above the last candle's high. So inside bar candle's high, we'll be placing a buy order. So let me explain if there is any setup. So here, so this is the example. So suppose this is the open between pivot and R1. Here there is an inside bar. So this is the last candle which is inside the first candle. So what we'll do, we'll place a buy stop loss order above the high of this candle with the stop loss of low of this candle. In case of very small stop losses, so both the candles are similar. If in case both the candles are very much similar and no much difference, always use the main candle. If there is no much difference, always use main candle, first candle. So the last setup of the IB broker, it has various multiple setups. It's very difficult right now to identify them. Would you assist him? Yeah, we'll assist you. So for this, you have to identify few stocks. I'll say that ki Axis Bank, HDFC, Tata Steel, and Hindalco. Work on this setup. This is amazing. This give you the amazing result. If you want to repeat, Axis Bank, HDFC, Tata Steel, and Hindalco. Don't include Reliance into this. Reliance is dicey for the inside bar breakouts. So we'll be assist you in the live market as well. So I have said already ki definitely I don't believe in the theoretical knowledge. So I'll provide you the live trades only, and then only you will be understand. So there will be a stopped out as well. So here you can see that there was both the sides stop loss has been eaten. So here the sell has been triggered as well as buy has been triggered, and both the sides stop loss has been triggered. So there will be such cases as well. So even if it is very small, so see, suppose my main candle, Rohitji. So suppose main candle, and in this case of HDFC, this candle is very small, and this candle is also very small, but compared to this little big. So instead of using this candle, we'll use this candle for the stop loss and entry. So it will give you the very better confirmation. After open, IB can form anywhere and anytime after that, which means this strategy can be used anytime during the day, and flexible strategy, if understand correctly, I believe. Thanks for the giving a new idea. Yes, this can be used anytime, anywhere during the day, but the location of the IB, you have to watch it. So unless it is not forming at the preferred location, we don't trade. So suppose, so this is also inside bar. We will not trade this because it has not touched anywhere. So it has given a buy side also and taken a sell side also. So we don't trade in between, so we want inside bar at the preferred locations. We love HDFC. We don't like HDFC Bank for this. So HDFC, Axis Bank, Tata Steel and Hindalco. IB with the hourly chart also works great right now, right? It works great, but hourly chart is I don't prefer for the intraday. So that's why we counted 80-20 in the positional setup, because hourly setups we are using only for the positional trades. So it can give a target during the day, it cannot give a during the day. So that might have to carry up. So that's why we are using 15 minutes only. If you want to trade in future, should be cash chart. No. If you are trading in the future, focus only on the future chart. In this, you don't have to check the cash chart. Can we trade index? Or yes, absolutely amazing. It is working in the index. So Nifty, we are very much sure it is working. Definitely amazing. Can't this be automated? Sorry, it cannot be automated. Can you show around pivot opening? So it is around pivot only, na? So exactly at pivot is not necessary. It is tough to find, but it is around pivot only. So around pivot and between pivot and R1 and between pivot and S1, both are same. Can you please explain IB? So yes, I can explain the IB. So IB is nothing but two candle formation. So here you can see that this is marked candles. So here the candle for last candle, so this green candle is completely inside the previous candle. So previous candle high, it has not broken. Previous candle low, it has not broken. So it is completely squeezed out between this previous candle. So that is what we call as an inside bar. Yeah, this is the 15 minutes time frame from intraday and IB. This is only inside bar. This is not the NR4 plus inside bar. And this is a different, in a NR4 plus IB, we are not bothering about direction. We trade any of the direction. Here we want to find out which direction to trade, because it is giving us the many failed. So this is so all the questions I have answered. If you have any questions, you can ask me after the webinar is completed. So now moving to the last strategy, which is fake paradise. So fake paradise, this strategy is only for the index and the commodities. So don't try in the stocks. If you are trying in the stocks, then use the daily setup, daily time frame. Don't try for the less than daily. So fake paradise, index and commodities. So what are the conditions? So new 20 period low should be made for the, these are the conditions for the buy. For the sell, it is totally opposite. So for the sell, it should be 20 period high. Period means ki I am counting a 20 candle. I am not telling about whichever time frame you are using. You have to see last 20 period high or low. So the previous 20 period low should be made 4 candles earlier. So there must be a 4 candles gap in between two highs and two or the two lows. So if we are buying, then there must be a gap of 4 candles, not 3 candles. I am taking there should be a 4 candles gap between two 20 period low. So that will be that you will understand better with the seeing the charts. So after once we've identified this thing, both the conditions are meeting, what we will do, will immediately when we are getting a new stop, a new previous day low, previous new 20 period low, what we will do, we will place immediately buy stop loss order above the previous 20-day low, 20 period low. Once price goes below, once new 20 period low is formed. So here, if you remember the fake paradise one plus one, there we were waiting for close below that price. But here we are not waiting, and we are even trading in the current candle. So immediately if it is reversing, so even that also we will be trading. So in the same candle itself, we will be taking a trade. Even if it is taking in the second candle, that can be taken. It is not like the second candle cannot be taken, but in the immediate candle also it can be taken. But here there should be minimum 4 candles. In fake paradise plus 1, it was minimum 3 candles. So if once this setup is complete, this setup we are getting, what we'll do, we'll be placing a buy order above the 20 period low and previous 20 period low. And once the buy order is filled, then we'll be placing a stop loss just below the current candle's low. So better will be explaining by the charts. So that we'll be doing after some time, in some time. So once you are in profit, so what I suggest is, once you are getting a index 1:1 plus, 1:1 plus, I am telling. So if you are taken a 10 rupees risk and you are getting a 10 rupees reward, so immediately trail your stop loss to your cost. 10 rupees is enough. 10 rupees difference, even it is enough. So once that is done, then you can start booking your profits of the from the 20 points and thereafter. So 20 points we normally, 20 to 25 to 30 points we generally look for the in the Nifty. Bank Nifty I don't trade for the intraday as well as positional. Bank Nifty I don't trade except expiries, and that too through the future option selling only. Futures I don't trade for the Bank Nifty. It will work in the Bank Nifty as well, but I'm not trading, so I'm not asking you to, I'm not advising you, because Bank Nifty is too violent element. Dimesh bhai used to trade that. Sankesh bhai is also used to trade that, but I am not using the Bank Nifty. For intraday, I don't use. So here the examples are crystal clear. So this is the 3-minute chart. This you can use any time frame: 3 minutes, 5 minutes, 15 minutes, hourly, whatever time frame you want to use, you can use that time frame. But the rule should be met. So here, this if you can see this was the 11,890. So 11,890 was the previous 20 period high. You can count 20 period, we have to count from here. So 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14 15 16 17 18 19 20. So this was the previous 20 period high, and this is the new 20 period high made. So what was the new high? 11,894. So which means only 4 points of your stop loss. So if you place 1 tick or 2 tick above that, so it comes as 6 points or 5 points. So 5 points your stop loss will be. It is very fast. So within a 3 minutes time frame, you have to enter into a trade. So it is not necessary if you are missing a 889 entry. So it can be taken at 888, 887 as well. So it is not necessary to trade exactly at the same price, because many of the time we have observed that in fake paradise, prices never comes up, never comes back. So it is difficult. So you will not get the re-entry possible chance. So 2-3 points plus minus, you can take it out entries. So once this entry is placed, so you can see that from 890 till 825 within, this is a 3 minutes part. So 3 3 3 3 3 15 minutes. Within 15 minutes, it was at 825. So that is the risk reward of amazing. On the almost 60 point plus within 15 minutes on the risk of 6 point. 1:10. Here you can achieve a 1:5 risk reward, because the stop losses will be very small, 4 to 6 point or 8 points or 10 points max to max. If you are taking with the 3 minutes, if you are the time frame, if you are increasing your time frame, then it will be a large stop loss as well, matlab little bit wider, but not, it will not be more than 20-25 points. If you are, I am talking about up to hourly candle. So here as well, so if you can see, this is the same graph, this is also same graph, just within a single day, not even a single day, from 1 o'clock to 3:20, so which is 2 hours and 20 minutes, there was a two fake paradise in the Nifty. So here if you can see, this was the low, which was 11,586, 11,856, and here the new low has made at 11,854.5. So what we have to do is we have to immediately buy, we have to buy above this high, this low, sorry, above this low we have to buy. So once this new low is made, what we'll do, we'll place an immediate buy order above previous 20 period low. So here our buy triggered with the 3 point or 4 point stop loss, and it went up to 890. So which means almost 40 points from there. Or if you count as an immediate within a 2-3 bars, so there also you are getting a 20 points. Here 875 it has made within 20, within 2-4 bars, 2 to 6 bars. So another one, this is also Nifty 3 minutes bar. So here there was a 20 period low, and this is a new low made. There was a minimum of 4 candles between. So if you can see in the previous two examples as well, there was a minimum, there were minimum 4 candles in between. So here also there were minimum, there were more than 4 candles. So minimum of 4 candles we need it between two lows or two highs. So here as well there is a more than 4 candles in between. So once this low is made, so it was 891 previous 20 candles high, candles low. Here it has made 1189, 889. So which was 2 points, again 2 to 3 points you can count as a 5 points. But from the 5 point, it has given a reward of almost 8, 9, 9, 10, 9, 10 plus within a 5-6 bars. So that is almost 1:5 plus. So you can see that here as well there was a fake paradise. This was the 20 period high. Here it has made a high. Again, this has not broken the high. In the same candle, it has in the within five candles it was 40 points down. So see here in the, this is the example of the same. So this was the high 915. It was 917. So 918. So 3 point stop loss again. So 3 point stop loss, and it went above 40 points down from there. 880, 30 points. So that is how risk reward is amazing in this setup. That's what I am telling. You have to be vigilant. That's what Dimas Bhai told us. You have to be vigilant with this setup. So this is a crude. So anybody who is a commodity lovers. So this is a recent example. I have traded this personally and given on the fires Marcos on as well. So we have to see here there was a new high which was 38.43. We have to see only 20 candles behind that. We don't worry about this high. We don't worry about this high. We have to check what is the previous 20 candles high. So which was here. You can count it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19 and 20. So this was the previous 20 candles high, which was 38.38. So in the same candle, it has gone below that, and we have to sell below that. So 38.38 or 38.37 we can sell. We have sold near to that level, and within a 15 minutes or 30 minutes, it was down. It was from day high near to day high to day low. So it was down by almost 40 points after 30 minutes. So it was here 3800. So you can say that 5 points of risk and 40 points of reward you are taking. So that is amazing. So that is how this setup works. This, see, in this setup you will get disappointed many times, but when you are getting a favorable result in your trade, you have to trail your stops. Matlab, when you are getting a favorable trade, you have to capitalize on that. So this is also a crude. So same, here 38 was the low, and after the 6 candles or 7 candles in between, it has made a new low at 38.34, means 4 rupees stop loss. So once it is crossing about this level 38.39, you can buy it 38.39. Within a same candle it has moved up to 38.60 within a single candle. So at the risk of 4 to 5 points, you are getting a 20 points within a same candle, 3 minutes. So that is amazing return, boss. So 1 raised to whatever above 1 raised to 2, if any strategy is giving me, that is I call it amazing strategy. But that should, matlab, it should not be like ki it is giving me the failed trades for 20 times, and it is giving me the drawback of 20 trades, and then it is giving me one trade which has a risk reward of 1 raised to 20. So that should not be there. So that should be like out of 5 I'm getting a 2 trades which is in our favor, but I have the risk reward of 1 raised to 4 or 1 raised to 3 plus. So that can be traded. So this accuracy is around 40 to 45. I guess it will be. I'll show in the live market how it is working. It is working in any time frame. Any time frame I'm telling. This crude is working best in the hourly time frame. Dimesh bhai is used to trade on the hourly time frame only. I trade any time frame. 3 minutes, 5 minutes, 15 minutes, hourly, any time frame. This was the hourly time frame and fake paradise, and this was the 20 period high which was 4162, and this was new high made here after a consolidation of almost 15-16 candles in between, and a new high was 4174, which means 12 points of stop loss in a hourly candle. And till date this price has not came, and right now trading below 3800. On a same, if you can see the on the same day, in a three candle itself, it was down by 60-70 points, 70-80 points. So that is how the risk reward, 12 points of risk and 80 points you are getting on an intraday basis. That is amazing. So if you have any questions, you can shoot me on the Telegram group, and I have covered all 5 strategies, and I hope I have given the justice to the session. And any of the strategy I'll be giving a live example, because I don't believe in the theoretical knowledge. So I'll be providing you the live market analysis in the group, so you can ask me anytime anything, and every setup will be discussed through in our webinar channel. So thank you for listening us, and I hope you guys have learned, and we did the justice to what you guys have given us the opportunity of giving you the learning opportunity. So recordings will be provided, and as soon as we get recording, 2 sessions has been recorded, and one session, this will take around for 30-40 minutes. So by tomorrow morning you can expect recordings of all 3 sessions. So in stocks, these strategies will not work. So I'm repeatedly telling this stocks, this strategy will not work. So after 1 raised to 2, if you are getting 1 raised to 2, you have to trail your stop loss in this strategy. Yes, you can use Rohit, you can use the pivot points anytime for the trailing stop loss. So pivot points are, I used to tell everyone that pivot points are the heartbeats of the market. So that is how I used to trade on the pivots. So pivot points anytime you can use for the trading stop loss. So Prem Chandraji, thank you. I hope you have learned something new today. Can we use, yes, any time frame you can use for the intraday in a commodities and indexes, not on the stocks. Is fake paradise work in a bullish or bearish market trend? It works in a both the market. It works very great, and it works perfectly near the resistance and support levels. So if we are getting that is resistance and support, it is added advantage. This intraday fake paradise you cannot scan because charting is not allowing us to scan for indexes and commodities charting is not allowing. I have tried, but I'll work with the Vatsal if we can get that. Most wonderful experience or so large person such clarity I feel why I had. Thank you, Devasis. In fake paradise, the did you take trade on the candle crossing the previous high or on the next candle? On the same candle, you can take a trade even in the if it is not triggering in the same candle, you can go with the next candle. Kindly share the scanners in a single spreadsheet. Yes, that we have already mentioned that we will be mentioning you all the scanners in a single spreadsheet. So if you have missed Nanda, so you can watch out this graph. So here this was the previous 20 period high, and this was the new high it has made after the minimum of 4 candles in between. So once the high is made, we'll be selling below the previous 20-day high or 20 period high. So whatever the previous 20 candle high, here 4162 was the high. Here new high was made 4174. So below that we will be selling it. If it is triggering in the same candle, we'll be selling in the same candle. If it is triggering in the second candle, we will be selling in the second candle. With thanks, but unluckily we are stopping the seminars or webinars after this great event. So we'll not be doing this. So, but surely you will be able to learn from us in the next couple of months. So Karthik, for buy condition FP after new low, if the previous low is crossed after 3 4, no. This strategy is valid only if it is triggering in the same candle or next candle. We will not go for the buy or sell if it is triggering after 3 4 candles. If we take trade on the candle that cross the pivot high, then how do we know what is the stop loss? What is the Kiran? So when you are taking a trade in the same candle, whatever the high it has made in the same candle, that would be your stop loss. One tick above that. So size we make around 4 to 5% on an average per month, and sometimes it gives us a drawback as well, 4 to 5%. So in earnings, we mostly trade on the option selling. So because this is not in our control, so we are handling multiple accounts, and we cannot punch multiple orders at the same time in this intraday. So that's why we are trading on the Thursdays and earnings season. So we make around 4 to 5% on an average. So Priyanka, thanks. There would be, if you are using Guru 1 hour time frame, then per 3 4 days you will get one entry. in a fake paradise. Thanks, Rajkumar. So there is no difference between fake paradise and fake paradise plus one. There is only two difference. So if you can see that here in the fake paradise, there is a four candles minimum that should be, because we are taking a trade in the same candle. So suppose if it is triggering in the same candle, so we need a four candles in between. But in the fake paradise plus one, you are getting a three candles in between, because we were taking a trade day after, not on the same candle. So that is the only difference. Otherwise, there is no much difference between fake paradise and fake paradise plus one. So there was a fake paradise plus one. We need a close above the previous days, previous 20 period high and previous 20 period low. Or so that is the difference. We'll be in touch. Thank you, guys. Any strategy you suggest if the market is non-directional? Option selling. Non-directional only we love to work. So see, Arvind, there was a good question. So if it is making throughout the day, it is making lows and lows. So that will not be counted as a fake paradise, because there must be a four candles in between. So if there is a four candles in between, there only it will valid setup for the fake paradise. So good thing, Amar. You are told that key session on the risk management. So risk management, I would say for intraday traders, don't take more than 1% risk in any of your trades. So whatever your capital, you are trading with a 1 lakh or 2 lakh or 3 lakh or 4 lakh, don't take a 1% or more than 1% risk of your capital in any of your trade. Jagdish will be meeting you surely. We'll give a meetup also as well some places. In fake price, if our price comes after two three candles, we don't take that, right? No, we don't take that. Option writing, because we don't want to arrange a option writing is not game of all. So that needs a minimum of 10 lakhs of capital. And if I teach you guys, and if you start something on a high leverage, and it will kill your capital, tomorrow you guys will blame us, and it will not give us the blessing as well. So we don't want that. So that needs a proper guidance. It needs to be trained. It is not a one day overnight thing. It is option selling is very risky game, and it needs to be trained proper manner. So we are doing a mentorship program for that, and in that we are taking only people who are having more than 10 lakh rupees capital, and they are taking a trade with us and also learning with us. So that is why we are explaining the option selling. So continuous lows we cannot count as a fake paradise. Bajaj Finance, if it is intraday, then we don't trade intraday. But let me check once. Bajaj Finance. Yes, there is a fake paradise, boss. But it has not triggered the buy yet. So it will trigger above 3337 and with the stop loss of 3263. If it is triggering tomorrow, then only. Guys, I think I have answered all the queries. Where all the peoples are giving the thanks message, and we are very glad to know that we have done a great job. And I am also unmuting the Sanket Bhai and Dinesh Bhai if they are in the session. So Sanket Bhai, are you there? Dinesh Patel is there. So I have unmuted Dinesh Bhai. So Dinesh Bhai, you can tell whatever you want to tell. Dinesh Bhai. Hello. Dinesh Bhai, can you hear me? Yeah, we will not be dissolving this group, and this group will be lifetime. So group will not be dissolved. We have already given the list of stocks for all the strategy. All the strategy, there is a list of stocks which we have given 35 stocks of ours, and only those stocks we are trading. For pivot points and for inside bar, I have given a 5 stocks. If you want to trade only limited stocks, you can take that. So Dinesh bhai, if you want to say anything.
Hello.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, guys, thank you very much for giving your valuable time to us. And I hope you will give your 100% now to achieve your dreams. Whatever you're doing for yourself, you're doing for your family members. So, think about that and get serious. And whenever you need any help or any guidance, or if you have any of the query which you think is the silliest, you can always message us or call us. We are always available. We are passionate traders and we are always open to answer and learn from other traders. So today's session was amazing. The learning was mutual. It was not only that you were the people who learned, but I, Patik and Sanket also learned from you because your questions made things clearer to us also. So, and that's why we always try to share whatever we have learned, because that makes our concepts very strong. So thank you very much, and be disciplined, be driven, and stick to the rules, and show that you are you have that in you, that you can be disciplined, you can control yourself, and be profitable at the end of the month, every month on month, consistently. People say that it is a win-win. It is, win some, lose some game. But why are you bothered about that? You think about yourself. Focus about your strategy. Focus about your being disciplined, and see to it that at least one person, that is you, is profitable every month. Yeah. So with this, we sign out, and do fill up the form, the Google form that we have sent, so that we will be able to send the link to Google Drive. You will be able to watch the videos and the files over there, but not able to download, uh, because we are restricting the download part, because then many people will go through these videos and understand half of it and try to trade, and in the end they will end up with the losses. So we don't want that. So we are not sharing we are not allowing download. So you can watch anytime you want. This group is going to be there. We will be sharing trades for a month or so. till that concept clearer to every one of you. And in any case, if you are still finding difficulty, please call me up or Patik, and we will be happy to help you. Yeah. So with that, good night, and have a happy trading weekdays from tomorrow. Yeah. Thank you very much. Bye.
Guys, thank you very much for the joining, and we'll be in keep in touch, and we'll be explaining you the live experience through the different charts in the channel. So don't worry about anything, and we'll be providing the recording. Don't keep on punching on the device by. He'll be giving you the links once the recording is ready. So thank you and have a nice day. See you tomorrow.